Okay, hey Aries, this one's for you. It's Terra Lumination with your Jupiter in Scorpio 2017-28 Big Transit Mini Report. Here are some themes and keywords for you. When you're thinking of Jupiter, the big planet, it is the great benefic, okay? These are the other key themes: travel, healing, wisdom, higher learning. Now we're going to keep this video short as possible, okay? And if you have to, you can just stop at one of these sections where you see everything, and you can integrate this gently into your understanding, because we're just going to buzz through here, okay? So let's say, this is a big life-changing transit for everybody, and you, Aries, okay? And so if you think of Jupiter, this is the energy that Jupiter radiates, wherever it is, whatever it does. But when it moves through a sign, the nature of the energy is changed. So through Scorpio, it's going through this nozzle here, like, just filling up your car. Like, here's the fuel, here's the nozzle, it's Scorpio. Here are the key themes and keywords, for example, of typical Scorpio type energy. All the way from classic raw power, intimacy, depth, joint resources, all the way down to soul merger, deep soul merger and soul healing, transformation, literally the ripping apart and dying of the old to make way for the new, and ultimately all the way down to transformational vibrational healing, the ultimate highest expression. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with. Here's the fuel, it's pumping through this nozzle, okay? So now we're going to put that into your life, Aries. So where does that happen for you? Well, look, we have a little chart. So for you, Aries, it's going to land right in your 8th house. This is the 8th house of Scorpio, the 8th house of deep soul merger, transformation, birth and procreation, joint resources, deep intense focus, intimacy, raw power, and the handling and execution of power on the most profound scale. So that's happening. That's where it's happening with you, Aries, in the 8th house of deep soul merger here. This is the energy of what happens of, let's say you're married, and what happens inside the marriage. It's the energy of the deep intimacy and the separation, the coming and going, the ebb and flow, the very watery, deep currents of ebb and flow, where you, Aries, end up in a situation of deep merger with soul energy of another, to the point where it's almost like you lose yourself in the other, and the other loses themselves in you, and it's both terrifying and beautiful at the same time. And so that's why a lot of people are scared of the 8th house energy, because it's almost too much. It's almost overwhelming, and it's so simple and black and white, and it can be terrifying. So it doesn't have to be, if you're willing to embrace it and understand that it's actually very beautiful, luscious, rich energy. So, but this doesn't typically become understandable or encountered unless you're already in a dynamic where you have the capacity to connect at that level with someone or something. All right, so let's see, how are we going to do this? Let's just move on. Let's just move on to your reading, okay? We're going to do it kind of like we, like we do on the Sunday night shows. Just do a few little cards. Oh, let me go back here a moment. So, Aries, just wanted to also point out, Aries, your energy is very pure. It's very direct, straightforward. It's very unambiguous. I am who I am. I want what I want. I need what I need. I'm just going to get it, do what I have to do. I don't need permission. I'm not going to ask for permission. It's my right. It's just who I am. Of course, Scorpio energy is very different. It would feel very different, unique, perhaps even strange and bizarre to you, but that's okay. It's all part of your identity somewhere. You have that in you somewhere. So it might feel very strange to you what's happening over the next year, Aries, as you go through this deep period of soul merger, soul immersion, meeting yourself through the other, okay, through the profound experience of divine reflection and the mirroring process. All right. Now let's get to your reading. All right. So, okay, Aries, I forgot. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising as well, just to get the broader picture. And then reinterpret the whole thing just to suit you. You know, it's your reading. You can do that. Tarot Illumination is just offering a perspective, okay, to try and get you in the mood, in the right direction. All right. Cards were already well shuffled in advance, and we're just doing it to the last second so that you are a witness. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals, none of it. We're keeping it very, very simple. The cards tell the story the way they were made. Who knew? All right, here. Wow, man, cards are jumping. But we are not disturbed. We deal with it. Okay. Behave, behave, behave. All right. Sorry about that, Aries. All right, we're going to cut. And we're going to cut again. All right. I'm having too much fun. I'm sorry. Here's your situation. Here's your opportunity. Here's the challenge, of course. There's always a challenge. And here's how you can handle it and make the best of it. Whew. And then underneath, we're going to look at the prevailing conditions. Let's just call it the weather. It doesn't have to own you. Preferably you own the weather. You're going to make the best of it, okay? Just like you would any day in your regular life, okay? So what you have is the Ten of Pentacles here. So Aries, you're off to a really good start. It's almost like, wow, it's almost like you're landing on your feet here in a way that's very tangible, very solid, very, very grounded, and in a way that like you can smell it, you can own it, you can feel it in your hands, in your body, in your soul. It's really, really good for you, Aries. Like it's like it's nothing. It's almost like nothing to do with the emotional aspects. It's the experience and the manifestation of what happens as you live through this deep soul merger, this deep soul healing thing. It becomes evident, it becomes self-evident externally in your outward life, in your three-dimensional world. So that's very, very beautiful, and it's long-term. It has long-term legacy value that you can share with others. Like, oh my gosh, who knew? Wow. Let's say you're Aries. Wow, Aries, you can be all this, go through all this intense transformation, come out the other side rich. Now, rich, you can interpret that however you want. Rich in love, rich in relationship, rich in intimacy, rich in body, rich in home, rich in love. Whatever it is, it's richness. So what's the situation? Okay, let's get to the basics here. Okay, taking charge, making it happen. In other words, it's like, I am Aries. I can smell this. I know it's going to be weird. I know it's going to be really trippy. I'm probably going to get really freaked out. It's going to be emotionally very, very turbulent, perhaps. And I may get swept down into the depths and the darkness of the oceans where I can't even see anything anymore. It's so black. And it's going to be transformational. I'm going to feel like I'm dying, but I'm going to feel like I'm getting reborn. But that's okay. I'm not going to let that own me. I'm going to own it. That's the situation. This is your chance for you to like own yourself like never before at the most profound soul level, not just in relationship with another, but in relationship with yourself in a way that you could never have discovered without the deep intimacy of being with another some way, somehow. Okay, so that's just going to have to happen. Let's just say that happens, but mostly it's to do with you coming into deep soul contact with yourself, where you start to have the situation is you are coming into a time and place where you can integrate all the unintegrated shadow aspects of your nature, all the random loose stuff that's out there that's never been integrated, like the wild animals of part of yourself, the wild concepts, the wild beliefs, the wild talents that have never been tamed. And you're going to bring that in with your, let's say, your very, very solid conscious leadership types of characteristics, and you're going to own it and put it all together in a way that works. So any of the unintegrated shadow aspects of yourself are now going to be integrated as a soul at the soul level, which will become self-evident externally in your life, in your world, as this actually happens. Okay, that's kind of a big deal. I'm feeling that this is kind of a big deal for you, Aries. So what's the opportunity here? Because you are absolutely determined to make this happen, and it's going to happen anyway. So it's like, great. Okay, you got okay, well, look. Some people think of this as an engagement card or a marriage card, and the 8th house is very much to do with relationship, but relationship on the soul level, okay? It's like the deep soul bonding that occurs inside the context of marriage over here. And so that could actually be your opportunity, the actual to get married at the level of soul level marriage, as opposed to like a routine marriage where you can celebrate that, where the marriage itself has integrity and strength and value that's very evident to others and very evident to yourself. But it does mean taking charge of your life and your world and your situation and allowing yourself to be drawn into this deep transformational journey here over the next year. And it could be very frightening in some ways, because in order for this to happen, Aries, it means driving through. There's no way around the situation, no matter how like deeply, let's say, transformative things might be, no matter the emotional intensity, no matter the intimacy, which could be so deep it's frightening that you'd want to retreat. You're going to drive forward anyway, because there's no way around this. The Jupiter and Scorpio event is going to happen anyway, so the only way out is through. So you are going to drive through this and live through this, and you're going to succeed and achieve and win and come out the other side glorious. And that's just wonderful, and that's the opportunity here, being able to share yourself perhaps deeply with another at the core soul level, above and beyond whatever you've known as marriage or the equivalent of marriage before now. All right, so that's beautiful. But what is the challenge here? Okay, actually, it feels to me like loving yourself and believing in yourself enough to actually comprehend that this is even possible. So Aries, it's almost like, forget the gender here. This is the Empress. The Empress would be, would present as like this, like ultimate incarnation of ultimate womanhood. Let's just take it beyond. Go to fertility, creativity, artistic and worldly creation of abundance, making things happen, manifesting things, bringing things into reality. And that's the challenge here, because it's almost like it would be so easy to be so immersed in the process itself, where you could almost forget to, come back down in touch with Earth and integrate this all back down to Earth in a way that's tangible and recognizable by others. Because, you have the opportunity here to lock it down, to make it happen. It's just that, okay, with the Empress energy here, Aries, it's almost like maybe you doubt yourself. Maybe you doubt your beauty. Maybe, let's say 70-80% of the time, you're great. You understand how awesome you are already. But when you get that close, that deeply intimate with a soulmate, a soul other, at the point of deep soul merger, in this area of your life, where your whole body, mind, heart, and soul is now completely merged with another, that can be absolutely terrifying, to the point where you actually would doubt your own beauty, your own wonder, your own capacity, your own strength, your own determination to succeed and endure. And that's kind of sad. It doesn't have to be that way, because really you do have all this. So you combine these two, all this fertility and ability to manifest and create and just grow and just radiate love and abundance, and you put that with the Chariot, let's make that happen, baby. Wow, you could create something very beautiful, and that would be the opportunity here to actually manifest that in a tangible form that other people might recognize as something similar to a marriage. You know, a marriage of yourself with yourself, you fully integrated with yourself. But the challenge is here, I feel, deep self-doubt. Deep self-doubt of your own worthiness, of your own beauty, of your own abundance. And that's a little bit sad. It doesn't have to be that way, because the reality is, Aries, you are awesome, and it's going to work out, and it's going to be awesome, and you're going to handle the turbulence, because Jupiter has got your back. It only wants what's good for you. All right, Aries, get it? So let's move on. How are you going to handle this and make the best of it? Okay, don't be scared of this Devil card. Please treat it as, I see it as an opportunity. Please look at this situation as a chance to indulge yourself in who you really are in a way that you've never done before. You might have become an absolute expert at denying yourself your own awesomeness, where you can't, I'm not that pretty. Everybody says I'm kind of cute. Some people say I'm beautiful, but no, I'm not. I'm just really ordinary. I'm kind of plain. I'm just like a nobody in particular. But you are. You're just amazing in this energy here, Aries, and you have the chance to live it out and share that, and like live it out in the classical way that 8th house energy would radiate. In other words, deep soul merger with another. And if you want to, we could even call this a deep soul merger. Don't be scared of it, but it's manifested down onto Earth to the point where it looks like, well, you know, some people are scared of the concept of marriage because they think it's bondage, or they think it's like a prison, or you're locked in, or like, oh no, it's awful. But if you understand, the best way to make the most of it is see that this is an amazing opportunity to tap into, like, the chance to like really indulge yourself in yourself. Don't be scared to let go a little bit and really, like, you know, really appreciate yourself and have a taste of what it's like to really be loved and loving at the very deep soul level, to the point where it would terrify you, that you would want to break away because you're terrified it would be like a binding thing, where it doesn't have to be. It can actually be extremely liberating. This is the real opportunity here. The challenge is your doubt of your own beauty and wonder, and the way to handle it is indulge yourself, allow it to happen. It's totally possible. Okay? So don't be scared, Aries. You're very courageous, but you might be going deep in like you've never gone before, and so you're being taken to the limits of your courage. But you can handle it, Aries. Don't you worry. And you've got the beauty, the awesomeness there, so don't you worry. And it's all going to manifest just right for you. All right? Thank you, Aries. Make the best of it. Bye-bye now.